MCSO, are you going to have anyone else out there with you, or are you going to be alone?
I do believe I'm going to be alone in the courtroom,
Gotcha.
but I'm going to have some virtual courtroom people.
Gotcha. Works for me. All right, we will go ahead and start this thing off. This is going to be the appellate case of Bigsby v. MCSO regarding record number 6944. Let's see here. MCSO, if you could identify who you are, rank, so on, and what your role was in the incident.
I am Lieutenant James Brown, 706, and I am the arresting officer.
Okay. Uh, Defense counsel, I assume you have already confirmed that is Mr. Bigsby.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll let the defense counsel start with their opening arguments.
Thank you, Your Honor. um, so, first off, we'd like to go ahead and inform the court we are going to drop the unlawful use of force and unlawful detainment civil suits against MCSO. However, we are appealing that all charges be dropped due to flaws and technicalities in the case, as well as my client's uh, infringement on his Fifth Amendment right, as well as he was not asked during the arresting and the booking whether or not he wanted to fight the charges in court, so he was not at least advised of his right to representation.
Okay, let's see here. We already have the report. I'm going to pull that up and review it. Let's see here. Mr. Brown, would you like to break down your report for the court?
Sure. Grab a copy. Yes. So in reports 6944, it states that I was sitting at 705 when I saw a tan in color ram pass me down Panorama, then do a U-turn, which then he pulled up next to me. Um, he he stopped in the middle of the road and got out of the truck and came up right up to my window and started asking me questions about my patrol vehicle, asking me if I was not able to afford any other vehicles. He was um, right up in my window, talking to me. I asked him multiple times to back away. He failed to do so, so I had to push him out of the way with my door to exit my vehicle. He then he then kept saying, kept getting in my face and kept threatening me in the manner of overpowering me. And then I activated my canine door um, to be by my side, and he then started talking about my dog. I then asked him to turn around because he failed to back away from me. I was going to detain him at that time. He then started walking around his vehicle, walking away from me. He then started at a jogging pace around the truck. That is when my other unit arrived on scene and started giving commands for him to stop. When I told him to put his hands behind his back, he failed to do so and kept running. So then I sent my canine to chase after him, and my canine was able to bite the subject, and then he got back up and ran towards me. That's when I deployed my taser onto the subject.
All right. A lot of paraphrasing. Um, do note for court,
Your Honor.
any details not documented are not admissible.
Your Honor, request permission to cross-examine.
Yes.
All right. Give me 1 second to get my papers up. Okay. Deputy, right? Brown?
Yeah, Lieutenant, yes.
Okay, Lieutenant Brown, sorry.
Yeah.
So you noted that there was a vehicle there. What happened to that vehicle?
The Ram,
Yeah.
it was towed.
Okay. Can you explain why there's not a vehicle referenced in your report?
At the time, there was a problem. I can't remember what it was, but there was a problem with the vehicle coming back to someone, and it was error on my side with my the laptop that was in my patrol truck at that time that has since been fixed.
Okay.
But it
No
was just
worries. Could you have put it in your narrative?
I could have, yes.
Okay. Why didn't you do so?
I guess with just the adrenaline running at the time, and also at that time we also had another incident that happened at that scene that I had to assist with. So it just didn't cross my mind to.
Okay. So you stated that he was running, in which, Your Honor, I do want to submit body cam footage that MCSO did provide as evidence. You stated that he was running, but we looked at the video cam footage. Nothing in that video cam footage showed him running. Can you explain that?
Yeah, it was at a jogging pace.
Uh,
He was doing circles clockwise around his Ram pickup truck, which was parked in the middle of the road.
Gotcha. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. All right. So, Your Honor, I'm going to go ahead and, if with your permission, I want to go ahead and display a couple segments of this video cam footage.
Granted.
Okay. All right. So, we're going to go right here. So this is roughly when you got out of your vehicle.
Oh, dude, you think the doggy? You think I'm scared of that doggy?
Back away.
Oh, no, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going nowhere. Nope, not happening. Go get me.
Stop.
What are you gonna do, boy? What are you gonna do, boy? We can play Ring Around the Rosie. Ring around the rosie.
User left your channel.
No, no. Stop. Let go of me. No. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Put your hands behind your back.
Don't touch me. Hey.
Okay, so we're going to pause here. So outside of that one little spot, it I didn't see a whole lot of jogging. The majority of the video is very much like that. My client's clearly walking around. You also said in your statement to the court that he threatened you. At what point did he threaten you? Because I watched the entire video, and there was at no point did he verbally threaten you, physically threaten you, and I'm just unsure of at what point did you feel like it was necessary to bring a dog out, potentially escalating the situation.
With him wearing the clothing that he's wearing, he can have multiple things concealed on himself.
Okay, understood.
And so he would not back away from me. And so him being so close to me, I had my dog by my side in case something were to happen. And then that's when he started walking around the vehicle. And he starts you can hear he starts intimidating my dog and things like that.
I would argue is probably making fun of your dog, and while that's annoying, I don't see how that's threatening or escalatory in any way. As far as him wearing the clothes, I mean, I understand officer safety, but there wasn't a single time that you requested to do a pat down or a Terry frisk. You didn't at any point in time request to search him to continue to de-escalate the situation. You pulled a dog out instead. Why wouldn't you have done either of those?
Because I was trying to detain him to then do a pat down.
Well, I'm talking. Well, you brought the dog out before you were trying to detain him. Like you did not say that you were going to.
Yeah, no, he was all up on all up in my face, and that's when I then released my canine to my side, and then
Okay.
once I told him to put his hands behind his back, that's when he started walking away, and that's when I was going to detain him to then do my search.
Okay. All right. So at this point, I want the court to note that he's continuing to walk.
Oh, you're gonna pull a gun on me?
All right, so we're going to pause there. Why did you sick the dog on my client at that time?
Here too.
So we're at roughly 2:34 to 2:38 in the video.
Yep, let me get right there. So at that time, he had been resisting my commands, or not doing what I was telling him for a little over 30 seconds there. So that was me trying to de-escalate the situation. And he was blatantly ignoring lawful orders, and that was just me attempting to apprehend the subject there, to then try not to escalate or give him enough time, because the time from the start to the end, that gives him more time to do great harm to the citizens or other officers.
Okay. Completely understand that. What harm were you? So we're 2 minutes or so into this scene, and not once has he presented any physical threat to anyone, including yourself. Annoying, granted, but not anything that. I mean, I cannot see anything threatening. If you had not had a dog, would you have, shot him or done something else to cause him bodily harm?
No, I would have. At that time, there was no need for lethal options. So that's
Okay.
why I did not go to any lethal options. So I would have used my taser or OC.
Okay. Would you agree that using a canine bite has the potential to cause potential to cause severe bodily harm?
It would. It could. Yes.
Okay. So at this point, you wouldn't use a gun, which would cause serious bodily harm, but you did use a dog to cause serious bodily harm. So I'm confused as to why
Well,
that decision was made.
I'd say like this: a bullet will go into your body and pierce your body, and can cause um life-threatening injuries. I mean, you have a metal fragment going inside of you. A canine's tooth is only an inch, 2 inches deep, and canines are classified as non-lethal use of force. So,
Well, yeah, but we're not talking about lethal. We're talking about serious bodily harm because I don't know how many people you've seen that have gotten dog bites, but I've seen quite a few, and I would argue a canine bite is going to warrant a trip to the hospital regardless. When you could have used OC spray, the suspect was not fleeing at a higher rate of speed. You could have run up and tackled him. You could have, honestly, at this point, probably run up and grabbed him. But instead, you decided to use you escalated force by using a canine that could potentially cause severe bodily harm.
I could say the same thing for OC spray or a taser, because with OC spray, that is, that can, with different um, um, allergens, and then with tasers is electricity, and electricity can stop people's hearts.
I'll give you that, but I would argue that the majority of public probably are not gonna face severe hospitalization and stitches and malicious wounding from OC spray and a taser, which is why law enforcement use them. Whereas a dog bite is most likely going to send somebody to the hospital, requiring at least stitches. Would you not agree?
So we're going to move on from this point. We've already established that the subject was exposed to bodily harm. I would like us to focus on the route of escalation and the end result going forward, defense.
Yes, Your Honor. All right, so we'll move back to the report. Was there ever a time that my client was read his Miranda rights?
No.
Okay. Was there any questioning done to my client?
No.
Okay. Was he ever advised that he could have an attorney represent him for these charges?
Not from my side. No.
Okay. So I read the report of the booking officer as well, and it was also not in there. Are you aware that you have to inform all suspects once they are arrested that they have the right to an attorney and to fight the charges in court?
Sorry, what was that? I didn't catch that last part there.
Are you aware that you are required to inform your suspect after taking them into custody that they have the right to an attorney and they also have the right to face their dispute these charges in court?
So with the disputing of charges, the subject, as we were in the cell, he was already stating that he wanted to fight the charges.
Okay, understood. But did you inform him he would have the opportunity to do so? Because
Well,
my client did not. My client was unaware that he was going to have that opportunity.
um, he stated that he wanted to fight the charges, and I do believe one of the officers did state that he could fight the charges in court.
Okay.
Um,
Well, so the problem is he was unaware that that statement was made. I'm not sure where that statement was made, and it was not referenced in any report. And based off of those facts, the escalation of force, and the lack of detail in both of these reports, this is what these are the reasons that we are moving to have these charges dismissed, Your Honor.
All right. At this time, does Mr. Brown have anything he wants to add to this? Any closing statements?
no, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, do you have any closing statements?
Yes, Your Honor. While I can sympathize with Lieutenant Brown, this was a potentially stressful and annoying situation. We trust that the law enforcement officers are going to, respect the rights of all of these citizens, understand officer safety should always come first. However, we cannot violate the rights of citizens, and we have to, even when they are in the wrong, we have to be sure that we're affording them all the rights that they are due per the Constitution. I do apologize again. My heart goes out to Lieutenant Brown for the situation he was put in, but it's incumbent upon law enforcement that they have to do these things correctly. That's all, Your Honor.
Okay. We're going to adjourn now for about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to deliberate on this for a moment, and we will reconvene shortly. All right. You're all dismissed for the moment.
Yes.
Warning, weapons involved, felon, violent tendencies, code 600. Warning, weapons involved, felon, violent tendencies, code 600.
wasn't trained. That was the. I don't. I. By the way, JT, I was looking back through my records. I have no record of him being trained.
Definitely don't talk about him. He's here. Say anything. JT, do you want to join the commoners, JT? Would you like to join us? You know, one of us? One of us?
Alright, once everyone's
Honor?
back in here, we're ready to go.
I want Jameson to wear the funny hair. Permission to speak, Your Honor.
If it's about funny hair, no, I heard you.
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Shut up.
I just want to ask him a question, but I know. Shut up. Sorry.
After the fact.
I was gonna ask something after, but okay.
I was going to say, Grant, this is my one quip. You may test that assumption at your earliest convenience and note the results therein. Court's back in session. Alright, after deliberation, all charges are being dropped. The record is being expunged. This case will not be allowed to be brought again against the subject. Therefore, it will be dismissed with prejudice. At this time, defense, if you want to make motions for relief or repair for your client and his well-being, you may do so now.
Do you want compensation for injuries? Okay. Sir, at this time, we're going to request $5,000 for medical expenses and undue hardship.
Okay. 5,000 is acceptable. How much has he racked up in attorney costs?
He has also racked up $15,000 for the case.
So 15,000 for the case, 5,000 for damages. Given the nature of the case, I'm going to give him treble damages, which is going to come out to a total of $15,000. Total recompensation is going to be $30,000. As for the end of this trial, Mr. Brown, it is
Yes,
the
Your Honor.
opinion of this court that you need to be retrained on K9 and its deployment. We don't want to see you running it until you get retrained, preferably by an individual outside of your department.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Any closing arguments from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any closing arguments or statements from Mr. Brown?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Court is adjourned. You may now leave.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll send you my bill.
Your Honor.